Hi, welcome to the AdornIt podcast, episode 47, a little or a lot of knitting. I'm your host, Steph, also known as Knitting Samurai and AdornIt Steph. Let's get straight into it, okay? Because when you've been gone for a while, you are gone for whatever the reason, one reason may be that you've lost your knitting inspiration and you don't have anything to talk about. In that case, you would have a little bit of knitting. But if you've been gone for a while because editing is just such a pain, really, that's all there is to it. So this will probably not have a lot of editing in it, but it will have a lot of knitting content. So yeah, I have been knitting up a storm, and it's so funny to me because I got to April 28th and I realized that, I have a monthly goal of knitting 1,000 yards. I got to April 28th and I was like, oh my God, I've only finished a pair of socks. What? And so I pulled out this gal who, I don't know how well you can see it right there. That's where I was. So I did this last bit of the sleeve. I had already had this one done. No, I didn't. I picked up this one and realized, okay, back up. This is oh, I have no notes even. Whoo, this might be tough. Okay. This is the Simple Hug Cardi by the Cozy Knits girls. And I knit it in Brand Ombre. So that's why I haven't tried to block it, which maybe I'll try steaming it to get that down a little bit. It's rolling a little bit right here. No, I'm not. But it is, and so it doesn't want to sit as flat as I would like it to. I finished this 3 days ago. Today is Sunday the 2nd, I think, May 2nd, 2021. And I've pretty much been wearing it nonstop, just changing out my t-shirt underneath, because I didn't realize this, but knitting these 4-inch little rib thing is super comfortable. The drop shoulder, like, I realize this is a looser fit, right? And I knit it for 4 inches of positive ease, and yeah, I could do that, but it's yeah, a looser, cooler fit, comfy, cozy. Yeah, it's acrylic, so it should last forever. I do have some ends that are popping out, which is not ideal. I knit it on this. Oh, I hope you're here because you enjoy a disorganized podcast, because that's what you're getting today. Disorganization and lipstick. I woke up and I was like, I feel like doing this. So I put on the face. And later, I'm going to go pressure wash the deck. So who wears makeup to pressure wash? But whatever. Okay, so these sleeves, super comfy. I don't know. And they're the perfect length. Like, if I had long sleeves on, I usually push them to about here, but that's only because it's uncomfortable over the elbows. It's perfect. I can get everything done. I don't get too hot. I love it. And now that I'm showing you, so I finished 1 inch of that and knit this one. So are you seeing a weird line here? Yeah, as I was knitting this one, I realized I didn't go down a needle size as the pattern recommended. It's so kind of 3 inches in. I dropped a needle size. Not really sure. I don't like it, to be honest. I don't like the way it looks. There's clearly something going on in that row. Yeah, so maybe blocking fixes it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's super comfy. I like wearing it and I'm happy. So one of my goals for the year on my crafty bingo was to finish a sweater whip. So this has been on the needles for like 6 months. I want to say I started it last November and now I finished it. And it's meant for me to be more of a shoulder season, that in-between season between spring and fall. Those are the shoulder seasons, in case you didn't know. Yeah. Oh, I bought some flowers and they're outside the window. I bought them in that long. I gotta replant them. Okay, pressure washing and then planting my own front step planter. I've never done that before. And I got 8 of those 6 packs. So I should be able to make a nice full one. And I only got colors I liked, which this year happened to be a pink, like dusty pink and bright white. So anyways, my house is gray and my shutters are white, or are my shutters black? Squirrel! Would you believe this is my first cup of coffee? I know, this is gonna be a long show. I hope you've got your knitting and you're relaxing while we do this. My stage light went off. Come back on, little friend. There you go. Is that better? I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely better for shop pictures. Okay. So this is one finished object. It used 2.5 skeins. So I think they're like $6-7 a skein. This is the most economical sweater I've ever knit. I did do color management and adjust the stripe sequence to match the pattern, because I bought the pattern itself because I like that stripe sequence. So yay, yay. Oh, and it's kind of crooked. So these are my finished object, my second finished object. They are my monthly Desert Vista Dye Works knit along socks, and I really love the way that yellow flip-flop looks with the Sherlock Holmes colorway. So I checked with Susan, the woman who owns Desert Vista Dye Works, but runs the knit along, if it was all right to hold my yarn double. She said it was, and so I cast on, but I was worried I would run out of yarn, knowing that my dad's a size 11, so obviously a longer foot, but he doesn't like the leg too long, but long enough to go over his boots. So that's like I don't know, 4 inches is what he typically likes. So I pulled out contrast color for the heels, toes, and cuffs just to make sure I had enough to go. And when I weighed these and figured out my leftovers, I used, I'm gonna say this, I had 27 grams left of the Sherlock Holmes color, and I used 27 grams of the blue. So I would have had enough, but I would have been playing yarn chicken and gotten very worried and worked up. So I'm glad I did the contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs. What else to say about these? They are, so yarn doubled, knit on size 3s. I want to say I did 54 stitches. I'm not sure. It's on my project page what I did. And I broken rib is what I did. So that's a knit 1, purl 1 every other round. Knit 1, purl 1 on one round. The next round, knit everything. And that gives the little snugger fit of ribbing, but it knits up a little bit faster than doing ribbing. So I have done 1x1 or 2x1 ribbing for almost that has been my preferred method of socks, and lately I've been really liking this broken rib. So it just changes things up a little bit. My dad did not ask for these, so these are kind of like, surprise. So if he's watching right now, or mom can, no, it's not a surprise. I'm sure I will get these to him before I finish editing. So, okay. Yeah, so they're done. I'm really pleased with them, in case you can't tell. So then we have works in progress. So another one. I've got my whole crew of sock blockers now. I felt like I didn't have enough. I had like 1.5, or 1 red one and 1 blue one, and I couldn't find any others. So I ordered some more, and then I just have a lot now. So I'm gonna say I think I did just this little bit of ribbing on this, but same idea, except this one is a 2x2 rib, and this is some opal solid. I do, sorry to jump away. So it's some opal that I had left over from a pair of socks for me, held with a strand of, this is also an opal. This is, it's old, I'll tell you that. what collection is it? Rainforest? It is, yeah, I can't say that. It's the one with a picture of a sheep on it. So that's it. It is color 7257 and dye lot 796. That's what it would look like. We're not holding it with blue. So you can see it pretty much makes it like a gray and white stripe sock. So makes it a little more interesting for me. And yeah, another toasty warm pair. I can see that this cuff is not quite as long as the DVD cuff. So hopefully it's long enough for him. But after I gave him his first pair, the next like 5 times I saw him, he was wearing them. So he needs one and one to put in the wash. So that's a work in progress. I haven't cast on for the second one yet. I want to say I needed my needles for the DVDs, but I'm not sure about that. I did this whole needle organization. I went crazy one day last week and like organized a bunch of spaces in the living room and the kitchen. And I had a bunch of loose needles floating around, so I got them all together. I cleaned out my needle case, got it nicely organized. I have 2 sets of interchangeables that I've gotten in the last like 3 years. And my Knit Picks interchangeable set with their purple cords also work for Knitters Pride. Yeah. Also work for Knitters Pride. And so I have both of those sets. So they can interchangeable, no problem. But the Chigoo set that Steve got me for Christmas is, they switched the out part and that part. They switched the way those are. And so they're not interchangeable with the other set, but I really like the Chigoo. And I also have a lot of fixed Chigoos, so I just worked everything around and got it all nice and organized. So I have a lot of empty needles and it's kind of making me itch a little bit. No, well, I forgot to bring something. Okay, let's look in this bag. My Yeti bag. This one's from us. Actually, this one's from us too. So that's the AdornIt shop that I run with my husband and mother. She does the sewing. We do the stitch markers. I do a lot of the shipping. More than I would like. Anyways. So this is a skein of yarn I bought twice. So this is Hot Socks Similia by Grundel. There you go. So that picture really doesn't look like what I've got going on here. So, right? Like, here. Clearly, I'm off in some way because it's all just pooling. Which is kind of disappointing. I am knitting 64 stitches on size 0s. And I guess I didn't realize there was writing on the inside. I could go to a translator. You remember I tried one of these before and realized that the traditional method is cuff down, and I was going toe up and it probably wasn't the way the yarn was designed. That's true. Okay, so maybe, although I don't see any numbers, I see 5 to 6 centimeters. Maybe this would tell me a stitch count and a needle count it would like, because I can see that it's trying to make these stripes of the light blue, but it's just not working for me. So this is a sock that would really bother me if it were for me, but it's not, so it doesn't matter. This is a new to me workhorse yarn, so that's a more toothy, hard wearing sock yarn that can be washed and I don't like what I'm saying. So there it is. That's how it's pulling in the back. Yeah. So these, I have started my Wendy Johnson heel increases. It's just a 2x2 rib. Nothing super exciting, but excellent for on the go knitting. And I'm back. Coffee, a coughing fit. Now I'm back. Next thing I have to show you, doesn't want to sit on my table because it's so big, is the baby blanket, which sort of caused me to revisit the sweater I'm wearing because, oh, you know what? I wanted to listen to the birds. Okay. And my sweater's making me a little bit warm. So this is another colorway of what I'm wearing. So no color management here, just following the stripes as they go. This is, oh, I wrote it down. It's meant to be 27 by 36. Yeah, I think that's about right of how wide I've got it. I just need to go a lot longer. I haven't even finished the first skein, and I bought 3 thinking I would make a sweater combo, but not a sweater, a hat blanket combo to gift to one of Steve's friends who's having a baby. So baby boy, but I wanted to knit green, so green it was. Yeah, ombre, Brand Ombre, and these tips don't say their size. I like it when they do though. It is really convenient. Nope, 8s or 9s, so it's pretty quick. I was having a hard time keeping, yeah, I made a little boo-boo there. I went back and fixed it, obviously. Can't give someone something with lots of errors in it, but I was having a hard time keeping track of, like, I had it, the repeat marks for where my increases were, but I didn't have my decreases marked for probably 10 inches. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just marking all of them. So when I get to a marker, I know it's time to do something, whatever that is. So, yay. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking of DC Legends of Tomorrow, which is on Netflix. I'm a Marvel girl, so I haven't watched any of the DC stuff, even though the man that made me a Marvel girl has watched all of it, but whatever. Yeah, so I haven't watched The Flash or Green Arrow or any of those. Supergirl, I know they have a lot. So DC Legends of Tomorrow, I thought, okay, I don't know anything about this, so I won't have any preconceived notions to get upset about. And I will say that Tristan loves the Supergirl high school. Supergirls, I don't know the name of it. It's an animated series about Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Supergirl. Batgirl. They're all like young girls, and it's a cartoon, and they're superheroes. So he likes it because it's a superhero, I think. But it's so funny. So he's been watching that like crazy, and I was like, all right, you recommended this Legends of Tomorrow. Let me try. So I worked on that blanket while I watched it. Guys, it sucked me in so hard. It's like, you know how I say I knit faster with action movies? Well, every episode it has some sort of crazy action sequence. It has the guys from Prison Break, the brothers, they're in it, but they're like friends in this, and I love them. It has Rory from Doctor Who, Amy Pond's Rory. I think those are the only 3. Oh, and the old man, but I don't remember his name or what specifically he's from, but he's been in everything. It's really good. I'm on season 2 now. There are 5 seasons, and I've just really enjoyed it to the point where I'm shocked. So, and they pulled characters from the Green Lantern series, which ended at some point, and not Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Sorry, Robin Hood, Green Arrow. Yeah, and so they make cameos, and I'm sure there are references I'm not getting because I'm not a DC person, but even still, I am very much enjoying the action, and it's totally PG, totally family friendly. The boys have no interest in watching it, but it's fun in this COVID world where I wear headsets a lot when I listen to Dateline or anything violent, anything adult, right? I've got a headset on just because little people could wander in, whatever. So it's nice to have a show that, yeah, I'm in my own room watching it, and if you walk in, it's fine. You're not going to hear anything scary. So there's that. I have 2 more projects to share with you. So I think I'm going to pause and go get one. Have you ever changed the project bag that something was in, but then forgotten that you changed it? And so you're like, where is this bag? But it's been put away because it's no longer in rotation, and the one you want is sitting right in front of you, but it's camouflaged because you don't think it's in that bag. In your head, it's in the other bag. That's how I explain like 10 minutes of me searching for a project that was literally right in front of my nose. So last time I had just fallen in love with 3 Patterns by Pam Powers, I believe is her name. If it's not, I'll put the correct name on the bottom. Yeah, and I purchased all 3 patterns, which is highly unusual for me. I tend to purchase patterns right before I cast on, unless it's a designer I want to support. So I bought all 3 and I cast on 2 of the 3. So I'm excited to share those with you. One of them I shared with you earlier this week, so I will insert that here. Hey guys, I am sitting at the drive-thru and feeling like it's been so long since we talked. I'm at the Rite Aid pharmacy drive-thru that, well, since I'm the 3rd car back, I thought I would record and talk to you. So, how's it going? What is this beautiful color I'm working on? Well, this is a new cast on. I mentioned it last time that I wanted to knit one of these. It is, here, let me set it down. It is that cowl. That's what it will look like when it's finished. And the name of it, it's by Pam Powers, and it's called the, what is it? This is the Cowgirl cowl. So this is one of the 3 patterns I bought last time, and I cast 2 of them on. Ooh, exciting. So the yarn I'm using, which is lovely, 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 soft and squishy, oh, so nice, is Knit Picks Stroll Gradient. So I mentioned that I was thinking, sorry, piece of grass, thinking about using this, and yeah, so I'm loving it. I'm holding 2 strands together. I had 2 balls because, you know, I own a lot more fingering weight yarn than worsted weight yarn, and this pattern does call for 2 different needle sizes, so I've had to pay attention to what I'm doing with that, but it's going swimmingly. So that's the update on that. Can we just talk about some sad news I got today? I know, I'm so upset I have to vent about it, and actually I did some really bad behavior that I know better, and I haven't done anything like this in a long time, but I went to Market Basket, grocery store around here, and bought wine. I don't normally drink wine. It's way too carby for me. I also got some seltzer, but yeah, I'm going home to have a drink because I am so upset. I need to have a bone graft. Dental implant. I'm like, I had no idea it was that bad or that it was getting worse. I knew there was a little problem, you know, in a tooth I'd already had a root canal in once, and turns out, no, it's very serious. So this is going to be a 6-month project. If you're a dental person, it's tooth number 14. It's one of the 2 teeth in my mouth that I was born without enamel on, so they've always been extra weak, sensitive, need a little extra TLC, and this got away from me. So sad panda, I am going home to maybe put on Star Wars with the boys. We talked about it. It's school vacation week, and maybe we'll watch Star Wars and have a glass or 2 of wine, cheap wine. And I'll probably be in bed by 8 o'clock, but you know, the good news is that I went today, and it is currently Wednesday, and they can squeeze me in next Monday, so yay, it'll be done. Well, it'll be started sooner rather than later because I am a bit dental phobic. So, all right, what else has happened with us? Yeah, not too much. No, did I tell you we got new neighbors? Yep. It's a pair of ladies and a 9-year-old girl my oldest son is 9 years old and my youngest is 7. And last summer, 2 summers ago, we got another new family to the neighborhood that had 2 girls that are 7 and 9, same as my boys. Well, Tristan's gonna be 7 in a month. So yeah, it's nice. We're gonna have 3 5th graders on our street next year. I remember when it was just Roland and I at the bus stop. No other kids' parents waiting. So, yeah. Okay, it's my turn. I'm gonna go. Zimmy Longtail, come in this room. Come on. You don't want to be in here? I know you do. Zimmy, Zimmy. Zimmy, Zimmy. Come on, Trouble. Let's go show the people. Thought the biggest troublemaker in this house would come say hello. This is Asmodeus, also known as Zimmy, also known as Zimmington Peacat, also known as Zim, also known as Zimmington. Did I say that? Yeah, he has a lot of nicknames. Yes, and he is turning 1 year old. 1 year old, and he's the longest cat, Devon Rex cat I've ever seen. What? But he is super sweet. And he doesn't mind being held in all sorts of weird positions and chased around the house. And he's got a really great temperament for my guys. Yeah. And curly whiskers and eyebrows. I don't know how well you can see him. Zim, are your eyes dirty? Yeah, dirty eyes. All right, there's Zimmington. You're on my desk, and then next to my desk I have a storage tower with a box on top by the window, and he sits in. This is his box. It used to be for yarn, but he's requisitioned it, so it's a full, I don't know, 8 pounds of cat there. Very heavy. Okay, cat's on new patterns. So last night I got to the color change. So exciting. So it's starting to change. So I don't remember how much I told you about the deets, but this is Knit Pick Stroll held double, because apparently that's my favorite thing to do. No, the 3 patterns were all worsted weight patterns, but I didn't, and I think single or double skeins. Probably double, 400 yards-ish. I didn't have that of a color I would like to wear, so I pulled out these. I had purchased them thinking I would make a sweater. I'm not sure what I was thinking, because it does gradiate and how that would look in a sweater, and also 900 yards isn't really enough for a sweater, fingering weight sweater for me, but whatever. So, it's no longer for that. It's for this now. So this is the Cowgirl Cowl, and it's knit flat, top down, right? So this is going to be here. It's got these decorative button details that you do at the end that I'm excited for, and a tassel with a bead, and she gives lots of pictures and really great instructions on how to put it all together at the end. So I think I'm gonna love this. It's in required reading, required color to be part of my life. So yeah, this color is totally a me color. So I can see myself wearing this all the time. So there you have it. Cowgirl Cowl by Pam Powers. I love it. Oh, and I will show you my little friend, if he will behave. That is, can you see him? Can you see him? The gnome? That is our exclusive item for the Splash Pad Party Knit Along with Down Cellar Studios. So they are now up on the site. It's been a long time coming because I had those custom made. Well, I bought the artwork. I had the markers custom made. I designed some fabric using the artwork. It takes a while for them to print the fabric and get it to you, and then cutting, and it was sort of a major production for the amount of bags that we made that were the same. We make a lot of bags, but they're not always like 20 the same. So just because I'm talking about it, I'll show you one. So here they are, and this has a different 3D gnome zipper pull on it, and the handle says Splash Pad Party 2021, as well as our AdornIt. And we started doing this thing with our larger bags where we try and catch some of the lining fabric in and do a little embroidery somewhere on the outside that doesn't show, just to keep the lining in and smooth, which is important to me as a knitter. I don't like when my linings move. So on these, his flower has a little bit of stitching in it. So yeah, they're super cute. And they were more popular than we expected, so I have ordered more fabric, and I think it's going to be a pre-order up on the site. So if you don't want it, if you don't want to miss out on it, we will get you one, but it's probably going to be a couple weeks before they're ready to ship. So yeah, thank you. That's what I have to say about that. Thank you so much for your support for the Splash Pad Party. It's been wonderful. So yeah, I showed you one of my scarves. The other scarf is the Challah scarf, which is like braided. I think of the Challah bread, which is, I'm not sure which nationality, but it's like a braided loaf of bread, right? So this scarf is essentially a braided scarf. I'm holding this because, again, 2 strands. The colors I picked, I was having a hard time. I think they were like gray, dusty pink, and taupe or something, or beige in the pattern picture. And the pattern picture is what I fell in love with. So I spent a good couple hours going through the worsted bin, pulling things out, putting them together, trying to decide, do I like this combination, do I not? And what I ended up deciding to do was holding a skein double, holding fingering weight double, because my worsted stash isn't as extensive or versatile. So this is some Mountain Colors. I've probably had it for 10 years. Definitely an old skein. Thank you, motorcycles on the highway. So I ended up deciding that this was just exciting enough of a color with variegation, but not that it was going to jump out at you that, you know, the colors are changing. Not a super variegated, right? Almost tonal. So it's got a little bit of the brown. When you look at it up close, it's got greens and browns and purples and blues, but overall it reads as blue to me. So this is Mountain Colors from like 10 years ago. And I have my 2 skeins. I have a smaller project bag. I don't like untangling yarn. In fact, it drives me insane to have to deal with that. So I put them side by side in here, the ends coming up, zip up the bag, leave like an inch, and this has worked amazing. This is the first time I try this. So this bag that I'm holding in my hand is a Stitched by Jessalou bag. Yeah, I've used it for Valentine's Day socks for years, and now it's being a yarn holder. There's plenty of room in it, so the yarn has never been tight in the bag, and it makes it easier to knit. So I knew that I wanted to have a gray. So this is Mad Tosh, Dr. Zhivago's Sky. I think I knit a sweater with this. I fell in love with this gray at Webb's after Rhinebeck one year. And yeah, we stopped on the way home because, you know, New York to New Hampshire, you drive through Massachusetts. So we stopped and I went in, and I remember having so much guilt and feeling like such a glutton for having spent all that money at Rhinebeck and coming out being like, Steve, I can't, I have to have this color. And I bought a sweater's worth of it. So he was like, totally, go buy it. He was super supportive. Or maybe he was like, go buy it, get back in the car, and let's go home. I don't remember that part. I just remember the go buy it and falling in love. So this is a happy memory in this. And then the third color I'm using is some Reynolds Review, my LYS I don't know if it was discontinued or if she was discontinuing it in the shop, but it was like buy a bag and get the whole bag half off, like a colorway, so 10 skeins in a bag. And I got this color, I got a navy, I got a teal. So I got them for a really great deal. They're 100% merino, very soft. I'm gonna sneeze. Very soft, and I've used them on tons of projects. You know, baby sweaters, Tristan's first family picture when he was like 3 months old, and Roland was 3, and Steve and I were both 33. It was the 3 picture. He's wearing a teal and blue striped sweater that's made out of this. So, yeah. So those 3 colors, can you picture it in your head? Okay. It's a little bit complicated of a pattern. It's not actually, it's a very simple pattern, but it is a lot to keep track of. And there are points when I just have to lay it all down, spread it out nice and flat, and then say, okay, what am I braiding with what, and how is this working? So yeah, you knit it like a scarf, which is totally, I don't make scarves, but I wanted this, so it was okay. I'm gonna do it. There's a long and a short version. I'm doing the longer infinity one. You could do a single loop if you wanted. Yeah, so I think this is going wonderful. I am just past the halfway mark, and she recommends knitting the sections separately, but I'm me and I just was worried about losing interest in this project, so I will knit on it for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then I put it down because I don't want to get burned out before I'm finished. But I couldn't be happier with how this is turning out. I think the Mount Colors gives it just enough interest in it. The different stitch patterns make it also more interesting. I did make the I made one of these sections larger just because it wasn't working out, and I do have to do, it's interesting to see the difference. So this one's 2x2 rib and this one's seed stitch, and I have to do more stitches in I have to do more rows in the seed stitch to equal the same length as the ribbing, which I guess makes sense because the ribbing cinches in and then it makes it longer, right? And when you stretch it out, it gets fatter and shorter. So I am knitting this on size 8s, Chicos. So love, 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 love it. Isn't it gonna be gorgeous? I hope it's not too itchy. 2 of the 3 have a no itchiness about them. But the Mount Colors, the mohair, I'm not sure how that'll go. But I think it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that's one that you need like a skein of each color. So I have plenty of yarn. I am good to go with that. So, and it's living in a canvas bag. That's huge. So yeah, I think I've shown you everything. Do you want to see the video of what's going on in the shop? I can put that in. I'll put it at the end, I think. Bit about us, bit about what's going on, shall we? Prize drawings. Okay, so for the #AdornIt Instagram prize drawing, oh no, get out of my way. They're both up and feisty now. I think it's probably 8 o'clock in the morning at this point. And they're playing video games right next door. What was I saying? What are the last 2 months? March and April. There we go. Those winners are here.
And now for the March prize drawing for the AdornIt Instagram contest. The winner is Hikes and Bikes 2. And she was working on taking back a shawl, I'm assuming, 380 stitches. I'm glad you found out how to do that easier as well. Okay, and for April, the winner is Silver's knitting, and she was working on her Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I love the texture on these, and the colorway is Alyssa Zombody Edwards. Very pretty, very nice. So if you would like to be entered in for the May prize drawing, tag your photos on Instagram with hashtag AdornIt.
Thank you so much for participating. That will get you a $10 gift certificate to the AdornIt shop. And what else? Here is some of what we've been working on in the shop. That's good. And with us headed down the vaccination path, we felt like, okay, restrictions are loosening up about being outdoors. And so I went ahead and signed the boys up for soccer summer camp. So talking with one of the other soccer moms that I haven't talked to her in, I don't know, 6-8 months. It's been a long time. So it almost felt like normal because we were, coordinating to make sure the boys go the same weeks of the camps. Because one of them is like all summer long. You could do it all day, every day. But I don't want to exhaust them. So we're just doing 3 weeks of half days. 3 weeks for Roland, 2 weeks for Tristan. They both got to decide. And Tristan's doing a goalie training. So that'll be fun for him. Something he'll learn to do that his brother doesn't know how to do. So, whatever. So, this is for you. I finished reading Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I finished the first one called Way of Kings. There we go. And I love that book from beginning to end. I could not give it a higher rating. Like, such a good world builder. The characters, they stole my heart. Like, I read it relatively slow because I was trying to savor it because I really, really enjoyed that book. So, yeah, high fantasy. I did some research on the difference between high fantasy and low fantasy. So this says magic. Yeah, it's high fantasy because it's in a world that is not, it's not magic within our world. It's a world that has magic, separate. It was part of it. There's different criteria for high fantasy. So one of them is like elves and dwarves and that stuff, but then the other one is where the world is set. So yeah, so I followed Janet's advice, and instead of reading the second book of the Stormlight Archive, I picked up Ellen Terrace. I don't have it in front of me to say it, but it's I'm thinking it's the story from the other side. There's a lot it's all new to me to learning, and I'm on chapter 7, so I'm not very far into this book, but it's good so far. I just really loved Kaladin, and I want more Kaladin. So which I will get, but apparently, yeah, I'm looking for Easter eggs and things that connect, and I feel like this is maybe the distant past from Kaladin. But we'll see. Janet, let me know if my guess is right. Yeah, so that's what I've been reading. What else have I been watching? Yeah, no. Legends of Tomorrow. I haven't really watched movies. We watched The Mitchells versus the Machines last night. Everybody else really liked it. I was kind of disappointed. I don't know. It didn't make me feel happy. The dystopian machine thing. The jokes weren't offsetting that enough for me. But it was funny to hear the Queen talking through a phone, like Olivia Colman's voice as the overlord of the robots. It was funny. So, and there were plenty of good jokes in it, but yeah, I found the dad really super annoying. Yeah, like I kept yelling at the TV when he would do things that would obviously not be great for his daughter. And everyone else was just looking at me. So maybe I was a little too serious about it, but it's okay. You have to have a character arc, right? You have to start with a problem, solve it. Everything's resolved and happy. So there's that. Yeah, I think that's about it. I've got to pressure wash the driveway. Steve planted some grass seed out back for, he cleared a huge amount of space in our backyard. Like it was all just brambles, like, I don't know, waist high, you couldn't walk through it. And so he's been systematically clearing it, and he's planted raspberry bushes out there. He put little baby cedar trees. He made me a birch tree grove because I love birch trees. And so some of the areas that hasn't planted in, he was putting down grass for those. So that made him happy. Yeah, I think that's about it. All we've got going on in this COVID life. Boys are good at school? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna stop wasting your time. And I hope that you got some knitting done and some coffee drank, and it's a good day for you in your knitting world. And I will talk to you soon. All right, take care. Bye.
This is the world famous Row the Pro playing with the Don't you dare!
I'm gonna hit that bug.